Thank you very much, Carla, for inviting me to this session. What I'd like to do really is just to talk for about 10 minutes or so on why Kraft Heinz and companies the size of Kraft Heinz needs to collaborate to get to its cost, service and sustainability targets. And along the way, just introduce a piece of technology that we've been working in development with a cross-functional partnership involving the University of Hull and some various SMEs in technology. There are also some ports involved, Oxford Rail partnerships. It's been a great collaboration which has been going on for the last 2.5 years or so, and we'll show you some outputs of that. So next slide, please. So I'm Stuart Alldridge, the Strategic Project Manager for Kraft Heinz. My remit is across Northern Europe, so UK, Ireland and predominantly Scandinavia. And again, you can see some of the brands here that many of you will be familiar with across the world. Next slide, please. So we sit within the international zone. I just want to point out here that the scope of what we do logistically, well, the world's our limit. So we can improve activity within a country or across a continent, or as you can see here, across the world as well. So we have 37 different factories, 52 different distribution centers. We have sales in 200 countries, and it is a very, very complicated logistics service that we provide for the international zone. So we would spend typically about $750 million on our logistics across the international zone. The exceptions are the UK and Canada, which are large enough to have zones for themselves. So next slide, please. Now, collaboration. The first thing you can do, and perhaps the easiest, is you can collaborate with yourself and reduce the mileage in kilometers that you do as an organization yourself. And that just sounds so easy. But in today's world, many companies have logistics departments, many companies don't. So many companies will have their transportation and warehouse services controlled by purchasing. And what you would do in the internet world, you would put all your flows on a system, and then you say, right, may the best company win. And traditionally, it's been driven by cost, and we are reliant on our logistics service provider to declare what their best prices are and what their service offering is. And that's great. But if you are a large company such as Heinz, you start plotting your footprints and your factories and your DCs, you get a bit of a spider's web, as shown on the diagram here. And this is one of the first things we did in Project LHOFT, where the technology we've developed is that you can put your factories, your DCs, your product ranges, your ambient, your frozen, what's food, what's non-food, etc. And you can put it into the LHOFT model, and then you can actually visually display your routes. And clearly there's lots of data and technology sat behind this. So you can then create an integrated flow. So Kraft Heinz, and I'm sure many companies are similar, can be organized across a country, across a series of countries, or across a continent. And sometimes you may not be talking to your counterparts in Poland or northern Spain or bottom of Italy, etc. And you are missing on opportunities that you can do to collaborate with yourself. So one of the first things that we will be intending to do with this the LHOFT platform is to understand what quick and easy solutions we can have by creating a better integrated approach, which will be considerably greener. So typically 32% of Kraft Heinz lorries return empty, which is not a great figure to declare, and it's something that we need to improve. But as we go through time, we will get better and better integrated technology to understand how we can actually fill those vehicles going back. And apologies for mentioning the B word in number 3, Brexit. There will be some ports which are struggling, in inverted commas, in terms of capacities and port services and customer services, and there'll be others that are a little bit more friendly. And I believe Carla will talk a little bit about free ports in the Q&A. Next slide, please. So once you've got yourself a few projects internally and talk to your Polish counterparts, etc., you can then look and see, well, what can I do to collaborate with other people? And it really is a needle in a haystack. So you might be lucky enough to have a logistics service provider that can have other customers that are either going to the same places as you do or are returning goods from the places that you send to. So the example here again from the LHOFT platform is that you've got two companies and the origin and destination sites of each company is within a limit that you can set. And the system can then sort of show you, you have a potential collaborative partner that's, you're both in ambient temperature, you don't carry hazardous goods, you're both dealing with full truckloads, or you may be even dealing with less than full truckloads going to the same place. Do you want an introduction? And it's a little bit like a WhatsApp friend request or whatever. And this system can actually do the hard work and find where it thinks the benefits are and the people that you should be talking to, either in service, cost, or carbon terms. And the idea here is that if it does all the hard work and find things for you, it is then up to you to decide whether you want to progress it or not. So collaboration is very, very easy on paper. So if you can trust a third party to handle your data, not necessarily share prices, maybe not even share product flows to certain areas, but if you've got a third party neutral background that can do this, you can feed your data, with confidence that you can populate this, and then within minutes, within seconds even, you can actually run some scenarios and out-pop some potential collaborative partners. And then the difficult bit is, what your senior management does about it and what your legal teams do about it, etc. But if you can then go and demonstrate and say, hey, I can save 15% on this flow, and I can cut 2,000 tons of carbon, then you're going to have your senior managers going along with you rather more often than if you didn't. So, yep, that's a great opportunity to seek out collaborative partners. And whilst you think Kraft Heinz is big, it's massive, it's multinational, 37 factories, 52 DCs, yes, in certain countries we ship around full vehicles very nicely, but in lots of other countries we don't. We have less than full truckload vehicles. So even companies the size of Heinz will be interested in collaborating with other people in sharing lorries and sharing return routes. Next slide, please. So you've sorted your own network out, you've started to collaborate with others, you've reduced your mileage and your kilometers and your carbon down. But what else can you do? So Kraft Heinz, I'm ashamed to say, whilst we do a lot of inbound via short sea shipping and a small amount of inbound via railway, we don't do any outbound, which is our DCs to customer in the UK via the rail, and that has to change. And one of the things the LHOFT model can do is to say, if you've got many potential partners in a geographical area within a range of 20, 30 miles, etc., and you've got enough volume to run a train, or you've got enough volume to change a route of a short sea ship, then can you then collectively collaborate, go forward with either a logistics service provider to provide a service, a rail partner to provide a service, or even local or national government to say, hey, if you spend $1 million here or $1 million there, here is what it could unlock. And the LHOFT model does this on a pan-European basis. It has all the scheduled rail services and ferry services for both the freight and passenger. And as a logistics partner, as a logistics scenario builder, it's great to be able to tap into that sort of information almost instantly. And as a consequence of this, we are studying in Kraft Heinz the potential for a railhead at our NDC facility in the northwest of England. And if we can unlock this in the next sort of year and a half or so, it will mean that 3/4 of all Heinz products that the consumers consume in the United Kingdom will have not had an inbound journey of more than 6 miles. And that is a great, sustainable target to have, and will absolutely smash our carbon targets that we have by 2025. And the way Project LHOFT has helped us here is it's put me personally in with people who are rail experts, port experts, IT experts as well, and it's given me the right stakeholders that I can go and pursue something similar to this. Next slide, please. So that's just a quick overview of where we see collaboration with Kraft Heinz. Very happy to share my contact details to the group, and if people are interested in knowing a bit more about this, I'll be delighted to share more information, have a chat with them. So thank you very much. Over to you, Carla.